Alright, we are live. So, welcome. Little camera up. Unorganized. Better? Cool. Alright, so. A few things have changed this week. Done some fiddling around with the stream element, and so I'm now streaming on that, which is really good. So the one thing I did do was I went into, I at least logged in, and I had to change the resolutions, stuff like that, for the overlay. But I'm sitting now at a crisp 4K. There might be a few things I have to adjust, but I'm just gonna have to see about those. So, things that might be messing up. But we'll find out those things way really. So, at the moment, everything's looking pretty good setting-wise. Really nice. So, and I managed to lock all that in. I managed to change pretty much settings I change already, and get my all my stuff, macros. So that I haven't checked yet. Have some problems with so I might have to luckily I'm not really outside of using it to yeah, macro buttons working to change my class and stuff like that, really. So it's just like pulling up my class, and luckily everything else is working fine. Getting out my fine buttons. But yeah, that box is a little small in the corner, but I don't really need that. Why? So, but yeah, it's looking good. Looking good. We're going to continue with Newfound Adventure today, and try and plow through as much of that, because we've got 6 weeks, I believe. Probably Wednesday for Tuesday for everyone else, I think. Wait, Tuesday? Yeah. Because we're, you know, a little bit ahead in the future in Australia, so... okay, so I might as well go straight into this duty that we actually ended. Yeah, so it's the first one that's popped up since it started. One of the things with the PS5 version that it also auto pops like all of the trophies I believe that you've already got, but what you need to do is you have to you have to just do something, the event. Like you have to do fates to unlock the crafting to unlock the crafting one, stuff like that. But after just logging in for a moment, as far as I can find, so let's just see how we go. I kind of wanted to clean up my macros for changing classes and stuff like that anyway, because I've done that really like efficiency, where it's like you can in and tag like everything a couple of clicks, right? So that'd be really good to read. Okay, yep, that's all working. Feels nice and smooth though. It feels better. I don't know if it's just the way that the characters come up on the screen or what. Feels better. I do still have my PS4 available, so I probably need to take photos of what I did with it. There we go, Art of War. Probably like defeat an enemy. Wondering if some of my buttons seem to be working the same. My side buttons might feel opposite. Either that or just test for that, straight into a dungeon. Okay, that means that it's no problems. feel it's just a pattern of the wave that goes through. Really looks like they're going for like kind of one-off kind of free kind of things. I don't know if they're trying to pull any kind of narrative at the moment with this stuff, or if they're just trying to like just have fun with it, like have some standalone adventure thing for a bit while we're going into this story. I'm kind of hoping that that blue that they've got there will actually be like a new text box thing. So much better than the blue that's actually there in the game. Feels better. You only see it in this one. nice. This isn't too bad. Be interesting to see where the audio goes. I was having trouble with the PS4 version where the audio wasn't down in the cutscenes, and then some would, almost like they were in a different channel, like 3 down or something, and it wasn't using the center channel, like, because most things use a center channel for voice. I find that with soundbars, if they've just got a left and a right speaker, which is a little less common these days. Some of the older channel voice. It's almost like something was going on with that. And, you know, it could be something to do with like the game itself, like where they added the audio in the game. So that could be a thing. Happy Kulu. Okay. Alright. They're spinning out into the spikes. Of course. I don't know if there was a directional thing I could have done to fix that. Or if it just led me in a certain direction. There's something to do with being able to guide yourself in a certain direction. And I have no idea if it's a mouse thing or a button thing. But there with that mouse pointer that appears in it. I find it looks like they might just be done. They don't need the extra. Yes, they got this. It's all good. He's just gonna keep dying anyway. Let's get out of here.
What have we here?
The voice is working. The voice is working. Let's just hope this keeps up.
'Tis not unlike a Hunnish alchemical furnace in design.
Well, there is one way we might find out.
Stop! You mustn't touch it.
Vritra! Oh, my apologies. Should I continue calling you Varshan?
You may address me as you wish. My nature is no longer a secret. Still, this is not a setting I imagined for our reunion. Surely you've not entered these ruins as common looters.
Would that we could deny your accusations, but I fear you're not far from the truth.
Great Vritra, might we beseech thee to explain the nature of this strange contrivance?
It was crafted by our alchemists at my behest, for the purpose of sealing something away.
Wasn't gonna touch Stola. Yeah, let's blame the Stola. Why not? Oh, that was worth it.
You and I will speak later.
Not the time for frivolity, my friend. Not the time.
This something of which thou speakest, might it be some manner of threat?
Perhaps I should simply show you.
Pretty much went through the entirety of Endwalker voicing our scene. The voices weren't working. Stream on the PS4, and I think that was more of like the PS4 version not being compatible with certain audio or something, not linking HDMI stream. So, but that's good. I finally get to hear his voice. Maybe I should revisit like all the Endwalker.
I have lifted the seal, if only for the moment, by an authority only I possess.
A planar fissure?
No, my friend. Small though it may be, this is a functioning gate into the void.
Hey, functioning gate into the void. Void gates and fissures are more the same thing in practice. In the sense that both allow the passage between the source and the 13. Difference in terminology refers to the circumstances of their creation. A fissure is an incidental tear in the fabric between worlds, whereas a void gate is the product of action. I suspect this is the latter, judging by the elaborate mechanism. I think that our search for material riches would lead us to this priceless discovery. That swirling emptiness puts me in mind of old friends, not to mention old foes. Dar's legacy complete. Realm Reborn, that's the platinum trophy, isn't it? I think it is. One for the base game. Right, Brother's Grief. Mishkola is praising Void Gate with a scholarly.
I must admit, I am deathly curious to know how a void gate came to be hidden in the depths of these ruins.
To tell that tale, we must first peer far to the south, and even further into memory. An age 5 millennia passed when the Algan Empire sent an invading force to the shores of Merasidia. The southern people rallied around the commanding figures of Bahamut and Tiamat and fought fiercely to repel the would-be conquerors. With Bahamut's defeat, however, the tide turned against them. Desperate to seize any advantage, the Mercidians resorted to summoning primal entities. In response, Emperor Zande forged a covenant with the Cloud of Darkness, sovereign among the all-devouring denizens of the Void. Thus bolstered by icons on one side and Void Scent on the other, the two armies clashed in a battle of unspeakable carnage. So much death, so much loss.
I consider myself well versed in that period of history, yet you speak as one who witnessed it happen.
Indeed, I did. I heard Tiamat's roar of defiance and sped toward that war-torn land. Along with my sibling, Ashdaya. We dragons are not male or female as men are wont to classify, but elder sister is the closest a mortal tongue can come to describing what she meant to me. I was the last of our brood to hatch, and Ashdaya cared for me where my sire could not. Thus I was with her when Tiamat roared. I was with her when she journeyed south, and I was with her when she fought against the Void-sent hordes. Yet no matter how many of their vile fiends we cast down, more rose from the abyss to take their place. Faced with an unwinnable war of attrition, Ashdaya risked her all on a final gamble. She plunged through the Void Gate itself to strike at the root of their strength. I tried to follow in her wake, determined to lend what aid I could. But even as I came upon Alag's glittering tower, I saw the rift close behind her. And Ashdaya has been lost to us ever since.
A lot of a monster hunter movie.
I find I must retract my earlier claim of historical knowledge. Nowhere in the Crystal Tower's archives did I see mention of such noble sacrifice.
That does not surprise me. To Allagan eyes, it must have seemed as if a lone dragon, driven to madness, simply dove through the gate and did not return. For my part, I spent long years searching for the means to reunite with Ashdaya. Until I could search no more. Until Alag was dust, and the art to open a void gate large enough to accommodate a dragon forever lost.
Yet you have the beginnings of a gate right here, under the control of a harnessed device.
My discovery came before Radzat Han was founded. Though I scoured the lands for a method to cross the rift, it was beneath the sea that I chanced to find a natural planar fissure. It was, however, far too narrow to admit a worm's bulk. Only after our city rose upon the rock, and I could enlist the aid of our talented alchemists, did matters take a favorable turn. Their dedication was beyond reproach. Tirelessly, they worked to expand the fissure, and after decades of toil, it finally grew to a size that a child might pass through.
Not long ago, you told us that you called out to your kin, that Ashdaya's answer was silence. I suspect the conclusion to your tale is not a joyful one.
With hope in my heart, I used a simulacrum to cross the threshold. But no, I did not find her. What I found was a host of void scent clamoring around the opening they had sensed. 'Twas but a moment, but enough. I had no choice but to retreat and allow the portal to contract once more.
The gate was a threat to your people. You had to decide between endangering Razat Khan and abandoning your sister. And you chose the latter.
'Twas not that thy siblings scorned thy call. 'Twas that she was trapped beyond a barrier through which neither roar nor dragon may pass. Even now, in the desolate world of the 13th.
I can scarce imagine your pain, yet it was wise not to linger in that place. Too long a sojourn, and even a being of your power risks being warped into a creature of the void. You've seen this phenomenon before, when we stepped into the darkness. Turned purple? Well, yes. His wounds had allowed the void's corruption to enter his body and twist his ether. Had it been allowed to progress much longer, I presume he would have been fully transformed.
Then there is little hope for Ashdaya.
Ah, no. I hadn't meant to. I speak only of possibilities. The scales of the First Brood are extraordinarily resistant to ethereal fluctuations. They are the protective talisman's core components after all, and even the corruption I described would struggle to overcome. Of course. With the warding scale in one's possession, one could conceivably survive a stay in the 13th without being warped by its energies.
Be that as it may, it is too late to rescue my sister. 5,000 years too late. And now countless others look to me for guidance and protection. So when I sensed intruders in the ruins, I came only to ensure that the gate remained closed. That, and to secure the treasure, of course. I wish only to forget the rest.
Imagine not only to expand the fissure, but to also manipulate it as one might gate. Punishing. There are a chance that I could learn more about it. What I can first. I must return to the High Crucible and arrange to replace the Guardians who so destroy it. It will not do to leave the gate under. My apologies. We were perhaps a touch zealous in our rush to uncover the vault's secrets. If the constructs can be repaired, we would be happy to offer our assistance. Necessary, as much as I retain their vessels for myself, we keep duplicate data guardians on hand. In any case, we can return Raza High. So, I received a couple of things from the dungeon. Can I use any of it? Probably not. I got a rampant card. Do that right now. Right, next up, Brother's Glory. No, it's not the right way. Can't get that way. Didn't discuss them further. First must I attend to the matter of them. I informed you Apikulu has been third. Please bring a new one out of storage and see that it is conveyed to the post along with a few lesser was it too? Beings born of the Tower of Zot. By the sisters, do not tell me a plus me at Rome. Guilty faces, though it isn't you who is responsible for it. Well, details aren't important, I should get done immediately. Vault will soon be secure once more. Add questions? Quite a few, in fact. But I'd like to begin with the gate itself. It is still functional, yes. Indeed, which is why I saw it sealed with the alchemy forged lock and warded it with mine. Such power must not fall into the wrong hand. In truth, the primary reason for the vault's construction was to keep the gate hidden from the outside world. Effortless little door. That little door you speak of leads to an abyss teeming with unthinkable horrors. That said, in its current state it would admit only to the lowliest of void center. and from this side no man would be able to pass through. No man? I should think Alphino would, given the size is only one consideration. True restriction upon the etheric density of the soul intrinsic. Repeatedly expanding this diminutive portal and sand curve. Welcome to really alchemist could have destroyed the anomaly. Instead, I bade them devise the forward. Experimentation, they accomplished the impossible. A method was conceived by which my magics could manipulate the fissure and transform it into long gone. Once I had given up searching for Asdaja, there was no need to preserve such esoteric and dangerous. Thus the gate has lain dormant, is unknown. Our own passage to the 13th was made relatively simple thanks to the Tower. An ancient mechanism channeled the tower's vast stores of energy to open a one bound to the convent made with the cloud of darkness. Sovereignty was beaten back, however, the covenant was broken. The doorway severed from its connection to theoretically, it's possible to reconnect the gate by forging a new pact with such deals usually end in betrayal and death. In any case, we should attempt to gain an understanding of the bounty gate. Mayhap you could resume the search for your sister? I've already explained, I put those futile hopes to rest centuries ago. My place and I had meant to ask, what prompted you to search for the vault in the first place? Palestinian's idea. Let me just blame everyone. As I recall, it was you who was chasing tales around ruin. Well, as you've seen, the fabulous film from stories is quite real, if it's not rumored again. Not its rumored origin, but I'm afraid I must assert a correct one. I've been adding to that trove for years. Little by the time has come to spend it and might alleviate my suffering. And we are of one mind, had no intention of taking it for ourselves. Isn't that right, my friend? Would you object if I were to conduct a closer examination of the gate? I'll make no attempt to open it. Show you in debt that I can never be repaid. Whatever boon you ask of me, you shall have. Most gracious, I shall take full advantage of you. Would that I could join thee in thy study, but the pirates would be anxious. I report. I beg my leave of you. Off to Charlene. Mistress Prowl was eager to speak with you about that request, so please come back to the annex as soon as you're able. Farewell for now. Discuss my findings once I will not be rid of me soon. With round, speaking of pressure base, housing it. Yes. Okay. Part in all this, finding how best to put these. Will you lend me your assistance? Deliberate. You and I in this together, I will follow his. My brother's brief complete. Breach the gate. I sensed the breaching of a gate was not this side, it was the other. Okay. Ooh, felt rare occurrence. Yes. Teeny pause. Now notice. There's more pressing matters. Unity is upon us, the coming of which we have waited on 10,000 grasp. Underestimate he who bested the cloud of darkness. Even restrained by a covenant, the cloud was no feeble wisp dispersed by the oppression of blood mortal. Let him come. I will drown the world in flesh for us before breathing in harmony. But forget not our cause. Thinking back on our struggles beneath the sunless sky, remember why we seek not our will. Time we set the war in motion. The fourth Fiends. I've been playing Stranger Paradise as well a little bit. No, not for a little while. We need to finish it. Been making some. Not actually gone back to do that class. Did hear that that was going to have some right. Sharing the wealth. Rajan wishes to discuss the distribution of treasure. I have to go back and finish that. Might even tough game. But whether or not I stream it or still try to. I've been putting. I put out one boss video on YouTube for that one. Do more, but might be worth just. Shall we begin? If we are to spend the treasure wisely, then we must first determine which groups would benefit the most from monetary assistance. Of course, some of my citizens may find it intimidating to speak with the staff directly, so I would ask that you act instead. You are to visit Akali and Idemad, speak with Natsea and people, and listen to their grievances. Gideon, I bid you do the same to Palakistan. I will be conducting my own inquiries of the Giants. Video of this needs this weekend been at. Okay. Right. Let's go speak to some people. Is there anyone in this area? Is it though? Nice. That's somewhere interesting to go. Four? Either in the gap or there it is. Beautiful. 75 to the north. Let's just not gonna be able to do that until we get around the side again. Anything else seems to go over except maybe there's a way I can. If not, I'll just start fresh. I was glad to see you unharmed. Quote then. Village test. Well, I suppose Dahl's loss hit us hardest. I've been trying to find buyers for my fish, although I sell a few there, so poor. Everyone's still struggling to rebuild their lives. Now we're just being together this. Best was Avenir, then you must try my special. Best cannot be beat. What could such a wonder cost, you wonder? Normally I would part thee with 3 bottles for the generous price of 1,000. For you I'm willing to go as low as even 10,000. You're practically stealing from me. Will not turn to profit. Hush, my friend. The world may no longer be on fire, but we are still sifting through the ashes, so to speak. Bear me. We might as well have that ugly tower back. Myself barely have the coin to buy at local prices. I tell you, if I didn't charge the odd adventurer a small fortune for the afternoon, I'd be scavenging for the scrap. Perhaps it is. That's what you want. Yeah. Die. Shambles, isn't it? Trade routes are open once more now that the danger is past, certainly. No small number of merchants had to sell their ships. Add to the sailors we lost in the final days, and it's still little wonder the flow of exports. Typical. Dahl and his consortium were still with us. I'm sure he'd have found a way to turn fortunes around. Now that was a man who got well, looking to key figures and gained understanding. This is hardship. What a mega. Go. That way. Go. Rises return. I've just made it back myself. Vessel, now that your true form is known, have flown across the island in a fraction of May the sight of massive startling. There are a few places I can enter comfortably without the risk of flattening something at all. That makes sense. Fair enough. Worries the people. Unanimous in surviving. Resources that were stretched to the limit when they were pouring in, they persevered with some. I understand they had always been an independent community, hunters and foragers, and the like, and I was assured that the jungle provides the path. And has weathered disaster better than most, it seems. Myself heard good news and bad. Firemen were cautiously optimistic, having just sold a full wagon of giant score to a foreign trader. But such visitors are few and far between. Yet of the best years, the weight of the stone leaving Tabney light indeed. The nation is small and isolated. Prosperity dependent on export. We must identify any obstacles to the flow of trade, and that we can work to remove them. Tell me, what did you learn in Yakali and Yadamar? C. Dedicated by the average fisherman must struggle to offload his which is why I believe we should first address the lack of ships and shortage of aid. I am reminded of a child I spied as I made my way back to the palace. Father lost at sea when the beast sunk their vessel. Many variations of the same tragic tale, repeated over and over, 50 lives lost. Grief of the drown, even if we let ourselves be overcome. But we will not. Theo, Estinian, I will consider the perspectives you've brought me and devise a plan to help my people in adversity. Come, I would like to be in attendance when I announce function.
I thank you for your attendance. The riches the Radiant Host have retrieved were hoarded in Al-Zadal's name. A fortune I set aside for a future day of need. And lo, that day hath come. may it aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor. In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul. Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly. Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency. Thence, invested into the trading port of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must flow once more. None were spared the tragedy of the final days. Of this, I am well aware. But an absence was created by the loss of Kalzal's consortium. And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. A simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society. Nay, a proper solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course? I see. We create a reliable source of revenue. Let us put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Al-Zadal's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage. Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name.
Oh, seems appropriate. What are you?
A successful merchant. I believe I see thy reasoning. Kalzal should be remembered, not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thavne, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores. Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Kalzal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well. Isn't that right, men?
This bodes well for that boy. Mirad, was it? Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Then let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Kalzal Foundation. Nabdeen, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor. Clerks, see to the management of our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. Reminded of Ishgard.
Bridging the rift, veteran Radiant wishes to share his gratitude. Putting forth Kalzal's name, those whose lives are enriched will take comfort in seeing his legacy. I'm not speaking soon, but I bear a message from Archon. She asks that you meet her at the high earliest convenience. Sola may have finished her study at the Void Gate. Shall we hear what she has to say then? I would be too busy to setting up a foundation. Clerks have been the well-oiled cogs of its administration long before our Erd's wine assumed the office. They understand what needs to be. I am curious to learn what conclusions the Archon is concerning the gate's unique construction. Fish, allow me to lead the way, Your Excellency. Other end. Let's just go to the crystal.
Right, here we all are.
You discovered something new.
I took a closer look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the Void Gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening. For that, I would need to reference the technique developed by Vritra's alchemists, no records of which appear to have survived the intervening years.
We know this, so why have you sent for us? Have you learned aught of value or not?
Patience, good sir. One must introduce the subject before launching into specifics. From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them. Picture, if you will, the moment you were called to the first. You touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world. The magics tore a hole in the wall separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness. In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway. Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the first. The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle.
Then what of the many voids Sent found in the source? Who guides them here, and how?
An excellent question. Though there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world, the rituals of summoning are the most typical. For example, let us consider the Gargoyle, a creature of middling power. To call upon such an entity, the prospective summoner must force open a void gate. The portal lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser being to squeeze through with their physical body intact. Our more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of any one mortal practitioner. Instead, 'tis far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain Exarch dragged us to the first. And just as our bodies remained in our world, the Void Sense physical form is left behind in the 13th. Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel.
Wait. You said that Voidsent must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch.
Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift, with or without form, there must needs be a guiding agent on the other side.
When the hordes poured forth from Alag's Great Gate, it was the technologists who drew them through.
Had a bunch of time.
Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are in essence natural passages between our world and the void, which require no such guidance to traverse. Why is only the boundary between the source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears open of its own accord.
I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the source and its reflections.
And how do you intend to get your answers?
No. The danger is too great.
Perhaps. But what some call danger, others think of as adventure.
There you go. Go on in.
Were you not listening to my tale? Never mind that the means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages. Even could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the very instant you step through.
I assure you I was most attentive, and I agree that to go alone would be certain death. But if I were to bring along one who has already braved the 13th, and humbled the cloud of darkness, well, I imagine my chances would be much improved.
Let's go.
I had a feeling you might say that. Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands. That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, there is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority.
As I've said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people.
You have my word that we will take every precaution. Not a single void scent will be allowed to threaten Radzatan, assuming we manage to expand the portal in the first place.
You have a plan.
Actually, I had hoped you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology.
That they did. House Daymir was overseeing the project.
Daymir. Ah, yes. The family associated with the great work.
I did not fully comprehend the theory, but their research began with a void scent which had slipped through the fissure. After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities. A man-made void scent, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate.
A man-made void scent?
Yes. Being great admirers of the Archons, House Daymir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for their simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material.
If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in a forbidden archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built. Which leaves us with... Yes, it may very well hold a copy. In which case, I say we head directly to Charlene.
Unless you anticipate needing help to reach the high shelves, I see myself being of little use. Go on ahead. I still need to find Mirad and tell him about the Kalzal Foundation.
Let us be on our way as well.
They are resolved to venture into the void. Do I sit idly by?
Okay. Enter Numenon's restricted archives faster than we must secure foreign. First, however, we shall need to enlist the cooperation of members of the corporation with half. Who do you think might be inclined to assist us? No one springs to mind. What a scholar. Antic. Did come to Grahan's defense during inquiry after all. That'll let us head to Phenomenon. It's I apprenticed to Master at the age of 7, laboured under her tutelage for a full decade. Never had the chance to attend. He did Thancred, as I recall, soon after Master Visual him in off the streets. He was put to the care of another Archon. He was a rigorous and practical educator as survival. Sometimes I wonder what my life might have been like if I pursued that. Okay. That does sound lovely. Afternoons with friends, sipping tea and debating theories. Still, I wouldn't give up my time with Master. The cave I studied in was about as far from the bright, airy halls here one could get, but it was a wondrous magic childhood number. Yeah. Montague. Quite esteemed ones at that. What may I do? In truth, we were hoping you might help. Your permission. Oh no, no forward braves in the stack system. Would this newfound sense of propriety get in its wide world of comparative serenity? What so compels you to disturb a vault of forbidden wisdom? No idea such. Surprised if you had. My assumption is correct. The research left behind by the House Tamer has lain dormant in archives for centuries. Research then. What then? Surely you don't intend to avoid? Of course we do. That isn't precisely what we intend. And pray tell. To develop a method of traversing the rift for one, that I might keep my word to the distant. I have journeyed to the end of existence. I have heard, felt, and thought endlessly about the truth of the world and the future. Yet I want to understand everything, to unravel it all down to its very last secret. What scholar worthy of name would force open a void gate or two if a grand revelation would promise reward? Marvelous. An audacious proposal worthy of master. After hearing the whys and the wherefores, I for one do not believe you can use them for ill. I see no reason to present your request, not to present your request for the forum's consideration. So, if your petition would be better received, you also have the support of another well-placed acquaintance. Of course, there's somebody else about this. We do have to build up a little followers in this place too. My master Fortunato, of course. He can hardly ignore the earnest hesitant to approach him directly, but there is no denying that having Master Fortunato on our side would tip the balance in favor. Very well, we will pay a visit to the Livia State and clear. Before you go, I would consider a personal favor if you could share with me the discoveries. Knowledge is every bit as insatiable as yours. I'd rage it if you could see your way in indulging an old curiosity. Of course. Good luck. We will be sure to pass on any revelation. Crystal and go the other way. I think, is she following me still? She is. If I teleport, I'll lose her. Oh well. That's probably a bad thing. Lucky. Wait. I thought that after the cutscene, it would have been like an immediate, finish of following. Have a look. Butler? Ah, Master Kyo, Miss Polo. How may I be of service? Speak with Master Fortunato. Yes, the Master in residence. I shall inform him. Well, millions would invite you inside for tea, but I assume this is not a social visit. Is some matter of import to discuss? Then pray proceed. You have my full attention. Suppose I should praise you for following the proper protocols this time round. Clark Munting expressed it much the same sentiment. I assure you, we will not attempt to circumvent the Farms Authority again unless it is absolutely necessary, of course. Of course. You do understand the restricted archives are restricted for good reason. Yes? If no pressing need exists, then why risk the consequence? Knowledge. Brother who misses him. This was his guardian and his friend. It was his guardian and his friend, a selfless hero who crossed the rift between worlds to save the homeland from horror and suffering. But the brother has given up on thoughts of reunion. He spent his efforts elsewhere, watching over a people, yet healing from the flames of the final days, loyal to his duty while betraying the longing in. Final mission, perhaps reuniting these siblings, but it feels a worthy cause, all the same. As one who feared losing loved ones is in. Surely you appreciate how painful it is. Such a separation must be. Go. There's still very much in this class. Offering to share your experiences for the first should constitute a fair exchange for cooperation. Celebrate just yet. Forum must still be convinced. Add your requested list of today's deliberations to deliver that. Aldesian. Crystal. Hey. There, or is it just out here? Okay. Or I'm just... Put it bluntly, Master Matoi has burned some bridges here. Salted the earth for good measure. When it became clear that her student was the petitioner in question, well, no few members voiced their... When the chamber was reminded in no uncertain terms of the incredible debt that we owe to you and your companions, served to silence the grumbles and minds, and it was agreed that allowing you to entry to the archives was the least we could do it. Wonderful news. Speaking on our behalf. Yes, well, I'm sure you're aware this permission was not extended lightly. Forbidden knowledge is to be treated in the utmost caution. There will be repercussions. Well, in your endeavor, and bid you a like we're in. Ever the same, that one. That very stoicism is exactly what Charlene needed to guide it through not one, but 2 exoduses. Rather well, I think. As a child, I dreamed up any number of schemes for getting my hand on forbidden tomes, and now I can simply walk through the door. Our focus will be finding the House Demir's research notes, of course. The thought of so much knowledge at my disposal has me feeling a little giddy. How good. Restricted reading, and Tang is waiting for you for further instruction. You'll be headed directly to the archives from here, I presume? I'm correct. Then you want to speak with the index page when you arrive. It's been instructed you grant access to the section. Excellent. Once again, we thank for all your help. Oh, it was my pleasure. Believe me, may you find the knowledge you seek. Goal is now accompany you. Okay, of course. Of course, of course. Where's the exit? Quite a few quests in here I could do if I really want. Now, it is the focus. It might be quite a while before I even see any of that stuff. Story with this character. Move on and try to clear as much content as I can with my other character on Oceanic. That's the one I really want to build up, so... just to go for this. In there. Hey, there's Puddingway. Hello, Puddingway. What are you up to? I guess my pudding wasn't needed to stop the fun days after all, but I persevere. Once people taste it, they'll be happier than they were before the barcode started. I just know it. This set of instructions I laughingly imagine may actually exist, but the arms away found me. Known as a dull three's exploit sooner, I would have well saved myself the days of even a children's book might have pointed me in the right direction. To achieve the impossible, one must needs to be flexible of mind and look beyond conventional wisdom. A lesson I already learned, but clearly not taken to heart. Oh no, I want to jump down there. Look at this thing. Right. Easter record number 4, the Numenon. Pride of the studium and parent institution, the Great Google Library. This massive collection of scrolls and tomes is the largest knowledge from every corner of the world is collected here in efforts to file the Bibliotheca Historica. Ultimate repository of wisdom is an endeavor without end. Let's see. Archon Yushtola and guest identified. Do you wish to proceed? Encrypted archives? Yes. Follow me if you could. Watch your step, and please note that the use of naked flames is discouraged. Find some stuff. Informational overload.
If House Damir's notes are to be found anywhere, it will be here. Let us begin.
Montage. A world not my own. I met the most beautiful void-born creature. It was so unlike her ravenous brethren, yet eyes blazing, not with hunger, but with a tremble, like a candle's flame threatening to flicker out at any moment. Goldsmith's Journal. I wonder if is even the proper word. Such distinction, sensual insect. All that matters is the love I feel for this exquisite tramp. You attempted to read more. This does not seem to be the volume is. Raunchy novel of some. Primal Disquisition. In the year 1564 of the 6th Astral Era, Yamaja Somadifrit, their patron god, accounts describe the being as gigantic lizard-like being with a potent command of fire aspect magics. We consider the primal summoning is the act of fueled by faith and prayer. It isn't unsurprising, if not expected, that the resulting deiform entity could manifest the appearance and powers with which it is by its worships. What then might emerge from the aether should one who believes in almighty omnis attempt the same ritual with the skull himself graces with his presence, some other embodiment of divine sagacity? Man-made God surely be all-knowing, and if it were, whence could such knowledge arise? I myself have many questions concerning the nature of the ancient world, with no spell to transport me back to the days of old. But I instead summon a being possessed of encyclopedic wisdom of every age, yet with no means to verify its pronouncements. How could one be certain they were true? So your mind spins with possibilities, just there, and it does not seem to be the volume you seek. Okay. What else can we find here? Okay, it's gonna put this up. spell an advanced method for manipulating rift spanning aperture, as defined by the Newfound Ninth Patriarch also here. This is the Epiphany's. We present these research notes to the faculty of Charlene Studium as both a token of our friendship and expression of admiration. You appear to have located the forbidden volume. Indeed, well, we'll need to make the final contact. Okay, we found it. Like to show me, do you? My apologies, I flipped open but a single book and was completely absorbed by the content. This is... Yo, I think you might have found our prize.
Yes, the ether signature is unmistakable. I've felt the traces of House Damia's resonance many times at the Great Work. Time to see what all the fuss was about. Among the ranks of the Voidsent, there exist entities with the power to call forth their brethren from beyond. The species known as Atomos, however, is uniquely prodigious in this regard. From its distended maw, it can expel an endless procession of void-born creatures, a talent which sorely tested the Radiant Host in its battles against these abominations. Surmising that the entity itself was acting as a void gate, we endeavored to capture a small specimen and subsequently examine its physiological structure. Our findings revealed that the Atomos had absorbed a planar fissure into its own flesh, which it could expand at will into a functioning gate. Upon further analysis, we identified an ethereal wave pattern emitted during this process. A pattern we were able to emulate by passing crystal-stored ether through a specially designed prism. We proceeded to embed said prism into an arcane simulacrum, thus completing what we have dubbed our artificial Atomos. How could I have been so blind to the possibilities? This species, not to mention its ability to summon Voidsent, has been discussed among academics for years now. Just before the advent of the 7th Umbral Calamity, we received reports of Atomos sightings from every corner of Eorzea. Surely you've at least heard the tales. And still, House Damia went and built a mock Atomos of their very own. I'm not surprised the Archons consigned their work to a restricted archive. It was no easy task, but at last we've unearthed the volume we've been searching for. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to stay longer. See what other forbidden titles might be lurking on these shelves? Ah, but that would be abusing the very special privilege we've been granted now, wouldn't it? Better not.
But those ravenous more Atomos, very much giving off the Final Fantasy XI vibe. That was basically a way for them to create an alternate world as well. So it may very well be that we're doing the same thing in this game. I'll have to start crafting. Afraid this is far outside my field. Please. Fortunately, we know a Hannic alchemist decided to involve herself in the project. Business here is concluded for the moment. Please pass our regards to the forum. Your message will be conveyed. Should you wish to indulge in more forbidden literature, I'll be here, patron mode, pretty mode engaged. Okay. If anyone can help us, Hidana can. I say we return to Fafnir and look for her. Well. Pounds and good Fafnir. Tells me you're fascinating, most fascinating study. You want me to be a part of it? Yes, of course. I have no doubt you'll be interested. Research log should speak for itself. Mark, the House of Demir. Never even knew such a work existed. You should. It was requested in Numenon's restricted archives after all. If it was, that means every word within is forbidden knowledge. I'm filled with forbidden research, and you put it right into my unsuspecting hand. I can hardly wait to read it. How did Demir were developing such marvelous techniques so long ago? How many innovations? Over the notes, what did they help us rebuild a new? Yes, 1,000 times. Work on a Demir project that had even the redoubtable Scullion tremble. No alchemist of the great work could. Suppose I should ask, what do you mean to do with this big mouths of milk on the filter? Void Gate, and it's sealed in the ruins at the bottom of the bounty. Days a day revelations indeed. If the purpose of our man-made immense hidden portal, then I will need to see it for myself. Manipulating rift-spanning aperture is not the sort of thing you want to attempt without first taking into every single factor. By that all means, accompanying us to the vault, I plan to lead us back there shortly, once we've finished gathering. Provided with raw aquamarine and pure water crystals, but I might need help obtaining a small quantity of estrus. For such a liquid, need to go no further than the front of Aeon. The ascetics of old once favored the place of their meditations. The water of their pools are now known to enliven the flow of ether. That sounds perfect. If you'd be so kind to fill the flask at the pool, I will petition Vitra to join us. The idea to have in mind won't amount to much without his authority to Void Gate. Shall we be about it then? We meet back. Yeah, I'm not. Far away is that other area there. See if there's any Aether nearby. Yeah, so if we go back up in here, No, it's unattuned. Have I not been in? Or did I just not attune? I have no idea. Oh well. I think this is one of the areas where I cleared a lot of the... I get the Aether currents. I might be able to fly. They say that the frame rate dips to about from what I can tell, I can't really tell actually because I'm doing a little bit of extra work. I haven't seen any fates around these. See if my 1000. Far over is quite far. And right, I have to go around the... This doesn't work. Here we go. There we go. There is quite the seems like the PS was go flat really quickly, actually. Yeah, that would be the last one. The only one I keep getting pinged. massive bridge. Okay, still. Know if I down here. Oh yeah, we definitely were here. Whatever reason. That actually worked down this way. There was a point where we couldn't. There's a lot of questions. Down where we maybe. Now we're supposed to. Let me just see if I can find it. anything else? Out. Possible. Advice, thank you. Element. B. Void theory. Gola is eager to depart with them. Came across Finian seemed to be in need of version in. Right then, now that our little party's assembled, let's make our way to the ruins. Will we have need of Mr. Nazi's boat again? Not this time. Once Yutola informed me about destination, I arranged for a vessel. Already at the cabin. Excellent. But he's ever the gracious. So there we are. Fate one. Lewis. We've only got a few minutes left, so let's see if we can. Get out of this. Also fails. Awesome. That was a fail. Didn't quite have enough time to. Now, thanks for set sail at 1. Exciting as it does legacy legend. All aboard for the treasure vaults. Yes.
The ruins alone were impressive enough. But I never dreamed such a treasure lay hidden in the depths of the bounty. It may have been helpful to know this device existed, Your Excellency.
My apologies. The gate was a secret I shared with none but my closest advisors. I feared for what might happen should those with ill intentions learn of its existence.
What is it you're doing now?
There is something I wish to verify. The NOAA reports claim that a short stint into the void carries little risk of etheric imbalance. Should one suffer an injury, however, or if one's expedition drags on longer than intended, that risk becomes significantly greater. Graha theorized that a warding scale would confer protection from the void's corrupting influence. But I would prefer to test that hypothesis before we set foot in the 13th ourselves.
Fortunately, that sounds very, very similar to what they've done in the Call of Duty game. Where they've added like a void realm and all over time to zombies. That's really funny, actually.
So, this is an experiment of sorts.
Yes, an experiment. Tell me, how would you go about testing the efficacy of the warding scale?
Got myself.
And how would you do that? The gate is still too small for any of us to pass through.
Estinian is correct, which is why I've elected to send a familiar in our stead. Now, a lowly imp can navigate a fissure, no matter how narrow. Which means an arcane entity of similar stature should be able to manage the same. I hadn't wanted it to come to this, but no other familiars will do, I'm afraid.
I mislike the sound of that. What manner of fiend does she mean to summon?
From ocean rise and cloudbank form, from mountain spring and rainfall storm, from river flow and life be born. Water, water, froth and fire!
Ready your arms. I fear she's been possessed.
Oh, come now. That was adorable.
Though not my first choice. These familiars I conceived of as a child have the best chance of fitting through the gate. I only wish my younger self had considered a more dignified ending to the creation ritual. In any case, these two should serve us well. This one will bear a warding scale. And when they return from the 13th, we can observe how the talisman, or absence thereof, has affected the progress of the Void's corruption. If I could impose upon you to open the gate. Your Excellency?
Ah, yes, of course.
We should also be wary of void scent slipping through while we conduct our experiment. Estinian, you are to keep Nidana safe from harm.
As you say.
You had best be on your guard as well. Oh, are you volunteering to join the Nixies? I could shrink you down, you know. Let us begin, shall we? the void. I think we've waited long enough. Nixies, return to my side.
Dangerous.
Thank you, little one. You did well.
Oh, the poor thing. Its essence has been irrevocably warped.
We're out of time! I must reseal the Void Gate.
They're coming through!
In the name of Al-Zadal III, I bar this door unto the Void!
Well, that was a sharp lesson in the dangers of void gates.
And what of our experiment? I'd say the results speak for themselves.
The unprotected Nixie has suffered extensive etheric corruption. As Nidana observed, it's well on its way to becoming a void scent. The one merged with the talisman, however, appears unaffected. I sense no changes to its equilibrium. Rest now, little ones.
Graha's theory was correct, then.
So it would seem. But while our second familiar was untouched by void energies, the talisman itself shows signs of degradation. It was, of course, originally designed to shield the soul from primal tempering. It stands to reason that etheric corruption of a different sort would affect it differently. We may need to modify the warding scale's design to account for the 13th's uniquely unstable ether.
You've said much of the Void's instability, but my imagination fails me. What manner of place is this broken world?
Ah, my apologies. I forget that not all of us spend our days sequestered in dusty archives. The 13th is a reflection of the source that was drowned in a flood of darkness. In Emmett Selk's own words, this tragedy was a result of the Ascians' attempts to force a rejoining. They erred in their haste, and made of that world a useless void. You remember Una Kalhai, the unusual child we met during our troubles with the Warring Triad. He explained the fate of the 13th thus. The champions of that ill-fated world used the stone known as Auracite to contain the power of primals, but those self-same heroes were gradually corrupted by the Auracite's bleeding energies, transforming into fiends with an endless hunger for ether. By the time anyone thought to oppose them, Light's strength had grown too feeble, and the balance of the 13th tipped into eternal darkness. And what of your own experience? Will you tell us of what you observed during Noah's expedition? I can picture it now. The sunless, Stygian expanse, infested with legions of ether-starved monstrosities. A void in every sense of the word.
What you have described in such lurid detail is exactly why I hesitate to encourage you.
Worry not, great Vritra. Our journey into the 13th is but the first leg of a longer voyage. A voyage that shall lead us to other reflections, to new mysteries and discoveries. And I mean to be there every step of the way. But first, I must focus on refining the warding talisman.
Then I can begin work on constructing an artificial Atomos. Or I could, if I had the relevant manuals to hand. Might I be so bold as to request access to the Satrap's family archives? Your Excellency?
Oh, yes. That can be arranged. I will speak to my officials upon our return.
We will see you back in the city then.
Here we go. Gola ponders the next stage of operations. Go into the 13th. Honest. Realize this. Be honest, I'm interested. Later, there is you first. Being so, I at least have a good reason for not wanting. No other preparations. Sure, the wood is effective at protecting the bearer from our other sources of corruption. Nevertheless, the talisman's durability will be improved and the void's influence for a prolonged length of time. I think that is a problem we can address without involving the brilliant but busy alchemy. Do we know who excels at this structural or garland I'll work. Question. Sid himself is no stranger to the void and the volatile. Experienced hand at the helm, I have every confidence the ironworks can scale. Come, let us visit their operation in Rugger's best and brightest. Oh, since we've got reach. This is so what brings you to the Ironwork? You're president. Actually, you're soon available. Master Sid, certainly I can see he has a free moment. Thank you for us. Void to find the lost dragon. That sounds almost pedestrian compared to the last adventure. Honestly, I don't know if you could say anything that would surprise me after the median and that bloody mess. Take a look at the talisman of yours. You said there were signs of degradation. Manner of corrosion is there around the crack, and a scratch on it. Much as the void's corruption seeped into Nero through his wounds, in which case our best bet may be to simply prevent the scale from coating agent that strengthen trinkets and the like, but I'd be wary of applying it any compound which balance. Far safer to dress it in armor. Utilizing metal alloys with AA3 so as to not impede the talisman's armor. I'll dart on the 13th, dial of him pitch in with the design just. Only it weren't such an ordeal to convince him to unfollow our safety protocols. I swear, never had such a reckless employee in any case. May needs understandable we schedule is, and the final result will be doubtless be worth the wait. The hard part will be ducking in a constant barrage of death while we think about doing the fun stuff. We'll see what we can do. Since capable here and the great work. See how Nid getting on the podcast.
Hey, Stola. The adjustments are going well, I hope?
'Tis a lengthy process, but the end is in sight, yes.
That's wonderful news. I myself had some good fortune searching through the Satrap's private records. What I found was a transaction log, dated around the same period as when Al-Zadal's legacy was built. It included a purchase list of highly exclusive alchemical components, and I knew I'd discovered the key to making the artificial Atomos. I then visited the High Crucible to commission the materials. After I'd explained my requirements, I was beset by volunteers insisting I allow them to help with the entire project.
The usual reaction to someone forcing open a void gate is to run for the hills. Harnish academics certainly are a different breed.
The alchemists of old were cut from a similar cloth. The unknown held no fear for them. Indeed, they were ever eager to seek new knowledge, regardless of the danger.
And were you not also fearless, heedless even, in your determination?
My sire entered his dormancy before I was hatched. And so it was Ashdaya who kept my eggs safe and warm. It created a bond between us. Even long after I learned to fend for myself, I rarely strayed from her side. She was my guardian, my sister, my dear companion. And not a single day passes that I do not mourn her absence. No matter how deep the darkness, I would not surrender my search. I promised myself the time would come when we would once more take to the skies together. But I am satrap now.
The Radiant Host is here to serve, Your Excellency.
Nabdeen, what is this about?
Sir Estinian told us of your predicament. For centuries you have protected Rads at Han, never showing your true self, hiding behind a curtain and living only in service to the people. Your dedication meant more to us than your deceit, and so did we accept you as our rightful ruler. After all that you have sacrificed for this nation, did you imagine we would begrudge you your heart's desire?
It shouldn't be on.
We survived the final days. We are a strong and proud people. We, the Radiant Host, will keep Thavnair safe in your absence.
I am grateful for your loyalty and for your encouragement. And yet...
Now you listen to me, Varshan! You are wearing that face, after all. As I have told you before, you are a little brother to us all. And if you are family, then so too is your sister. We are there for you if you need us. But do not ask us to sit by and watch while you abandon a sibling you have ached to rescue for millennia.
We will succeed in opening the way. It is only a matter of time. All you need do is prepare to step through to the other side.
Your Excellency, I wanted to thank you for building the orphanage. It means so much that my sister and I will have a place to be together, safe and happy. And I hope that you and your sister can be together again too.
You're saying I should seize this chance? Take heart and protect them well. Such were the words I once said to you, and here I stand failing to live up to them. If my heart is torn, I am fit to protect neither Ajdaya nor Radzat-Han. My people, I have come to a decision. Vashan will depart Thavne for a time. My dragon self will remain in the palace, but only to conduct the satrap's most essential duties. While I am focused on controlling this vessel, there may be matters that escape my attention. I rely on you, my trusted friends, to watch over one another until I return.
Take care, and fair fortune, little brother. Many tears would be shed should you come to harm.
I would not dare make you cry.
For a lone wolf, you've shown an degree of shall we say, involvement in help. Great good. Worm's thundering sighs were keeping his citizens awake at night, and the travelers were leaving the place. Grenades seemed disinclined to venture into the void. One with Nidhogg, his vengeful thoughts were my endless rage. Soul-chilling grief he nursed for first step. I would not wish to such agony upon a foe, let alone a friend. And if there is a chance we can spare Vitra the pain, then I. Perfect for our purpose, I should think. Rather not bother the skills with life. Now, on to specifics. Like the first, where the flood of light was halted before its devastation was complete, the 13th was utterly subdued by darkness, and as such, is called the void in stages, drawings after prey. It'd be more convenient if it had some manner of base nearer to the self. One of the palace chambers should have come. Let us reconvene outside medieval. Require suitable accommodation. Yes. All the chambers are presently hosting a great amount carried out of the vault. Once the foundations are in earnest, however, we can redistribute the grove and make room for it. Or two. Good. Please inform me when you've completed. Heard we have settled in. As ever, you are most gracious, Your Excellency. Self to aid me in my search as Daja, providing comfortable quarters at least. more about a destination. Gods only know how long our explorations take, or what our chances of success might possibly be. Hit or fail, I'm grateful to you for continuing to make the attempt. I will return to the great work and land. Honor preparations. Here we venture 13th. Now it's okay. Somewhere in my lands, perhaps I'll try radiant hope pass the time before we depart. Mikio, but my purpose need not consume. Headed to another world. Find what joy you can in the experience. For a traveler, an adventure at heart. Go. In the 13th.
To be swallowed, bereft of savours.
Look familiar at all. Let pass on. Must be the end of. Yeah. Alright, well. That's the quest. Be continued. Cool. Well, that's good timing. 3 hours, good 3 hour stream. Alright, first foray into the five realm, you could say. No, not too many issues. Everything seemed to carry over just well. So, looking great, it's running great. All my stuff's where it's supposed to be, except for my macros. I'm gonna have to do something about that. Poke around it. That. Yeah. So, with that done, I'm gonna call it there, and well, by this time next week, we'll have 6.2, so I will go ahead and probably. Oh, hey, thanks. I was following. Hey, Charlotte, how's it going? You were following me, or you weren't following me? Yeah, I don't know what was happening, but that's good. That bumps me up another one. I'm actually just finishing up the stream, because I was there's something really weird that happens with of these. I know notifications turn off. Don't like. Don't watch people very often or something. I'm not quite sure what happens with that. But so you were working, so that was you. You've been here the whole time. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that. Really appreciate it. So, but yeah. So, did you catch much of the stream then? Did you like that? The story? I guess you probably won't ever. That's fine. You probably wouldn't go ahead and play this yourself, right? So this is the end of the first part after the little, but it's fine. So I just completed. So the Newfound adventure is the 6.1, which is the patch immediately after the expansion. So, and next week they're releasing 2, and there'll be new story with that and new whatever they have. They're adding Island Sanctuary actually, which is going to be a like your own little island where you can bring out your little minion creatures, stuff like that. Kind of like Harvest Moon, or that other one. I don't remember. But yeah, kind of like a little building thing. It's gonna be really good. Everyone's probably been so. So I don't know. Well, I'm up to date, so I could at least check that out. So that was the point of this character, was to get in and make sure it was the character that's kind of up to date. But I need to go onto my other character and start building out, because I've got some friends locally play the game, but I'm so far behind that I can't do anything with them at all. So all of the stuff they do sitting there. But yeah, seems like there's a lot to come. Well, thanks for that. I am going to end the stream. I'm going to go do some stuff. I should be streaming the same time next week. I tend to do 10 AM on Fridays pretty much every week, where I can. Yeah, get in a stream here or there. I'm looking to do more streams now that this stuff is over as well, so go back to some normal games. I didn't really do those. I haven't caught any of your streams, so it's been too busy. Assignments, starting out uni. Actually, maybe I'll go back and put it on in the background while I. Right. Thanks for sticking around.